Hello and welcome. Peace greetings. This is Spill That Secret with the Time Out series with WomenOpreneurs. And today, like many other days, we have met amazing women across the world. Today, we have Dr. Jeni Pedua. Am I pronouncing your name correct, madam?
Yes,
exactly, Dr. Jeni Pedua. Welcome, and we are very happy to have you with us.
Thank you, Dr. Azeeza. I'm also looking forward. I'm so happy you invited me to the show, and I really am looking forward to it.
Sure. Fantastic. And dear friends, in this series of Womenopreneurs, we have, as a project of Go Global Business School, we have been inviting women across the world and over almost, it's going to be 1 year when it comes to June. So every week, we have met many women. And today, this woman we are watching here on the screen with us today has got a very, very inspiring resume that I couldn't even pronounce some of the words in it, okay? So I'm going to read out the kind of credentials that she has earned, and it's only fair that we read it out for everybody to know. As written in the introduction to her, she's the Dean of Science, right? In the Holy Cross College, Nagercoil, TamilNadu, and that is in the southern tip of India. The other credentials that she has is a fellowship in a European Commission, visiting researcher of University of Santiago, Campus de Lugo in Spain, Indian Science Academies, Research Fellow 2019, and that's CSIR-CCMB Hyderabad. And she's also a visiting faculty of the Center of Marine Science and Technology, MSU, recognized research guide of MS University. Now I can take a breather. So she is so, and I think the list goes on, and I told her, please give me the chance to just reduce it. This is the reduced version of all the academic and credentials she has earned. And I'm so happy and delighted and so thrilled to have you in our show, Dr. Jeni. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you here with us. So tell us, where you are and what do you love about where you are right now?
I am here in a town which is called Nagercoil, and that is in Kanyakumari district, which is the southernmost tip of India. I'm sure you must have heard about the Three Oceans meeting, and we are at that part of India. The three oceans are Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and Indian Ocean. And, moreover, I can say that it's a beautiful place filled with mountains and trees and waterfalls. And, the climate is always good. You got good water. You enjoy a variety of fish and seafood. And, 1,000 varieties of bananas, umpteen times of mangoes, tapioca, whatnot. If you're visiting our place, like you can go shopping for getting sea products, like genuine antique handicrafts, and it is also the epicenter of art and religion, which has been in existence for centuries. But there is another one area where Nagercoil's name shines around the globe since traditional times, because we have the making of temple jewelry is famous over here. It is a great demand, and people from all over the world crave for them to wear temple jewelry, And another very funny thing about Nagercoil is the sex ratio of Nagercoil, which according to the 2011 census, we have 1,050 females for every 1,000 males, compared to the national average of 929. So it shows that women are, and another thing is women are respected here. To tell you the truth, wherever you go around the world, you are from Kanyakumari and you would always want to come back to your place. Your heart will always be there in Kanyakumari. This is what I feel about
that. Fantastic, isn't it? If you don't have to come back. Sometimes when you are from the roots from there, you want to go there. That's what it's my personal experience, and I just love it that you are sharing about Kanyakumari today. Thank you very much. And now tell me, how did you end up with so much of credentials? What drove you to go into education at such an immense way?
There's something called the motivating factor for everything, I guess. So the rejections I faced ignited the fire inside me. That's what I should say. Because to tell you the truth, like from the beginning, like I was born in Nagercoil, and then I was brought up in Kerala. Yeah, that's a little town called Alapi, that is Alapura. You must have heard about it. So it is a land of backwaters, like rivers. It's also called the Venice of Kerala. So I did my basic education there in St. Joseph's College for Women, and then it is kind of, I should mention that I'm from a very traditional conservative family which demands women to be women, the stereotypic women. So as soon as I was turning 18, I was, getting a lot of marriage proposals, and then I was supposed to get married, like. In the meantime, I also started getting apprehensions about my life. I was too ignorant about the world outside because I was too protected, overprotected. And I should say that I was the first female child in the family because my dad had 7 brothers, and they had a sister who died at a very young age. So what happens is they were longing for a girl child in the family. So naturally, when you have a girl after uh, so much of struggles, you are supposed to overprotect the child. So what happened is like I was very clear that I wanted to study. I wanted to, okay, getting married is one thing, but there is something else to life. That's not the ultimate goal of life, according to me. And my dad supported, like my dad and my brother, everybody was supportive, like, and they let me study. And then like I did my basic education, and then I went for my higher education. And it all started after I got married. Like after my post graduation, I got married just like any other girl. I got married, and then my husband, like he was kind of a very good friend, my best friend, in fact. He stood with me through thick and thin. So I just kept on saying like I was not meant to be a homemaker, not because it's something something inside you like keeps on telling you you were not made for this. This is not your mission on earth. You have something else to do. So when I started studying, being a homemaker, sitting at home, I studied whatever I can. Like I did my MA in French, and then I went for bachelor's in special education because I wanted to help the disabled children. And then I did MA in French because of my dream of working in the United Nations. It didn't materialize, but still. And then I went for
Not
my
yet.
MPhil. Yeah, not yet. So then, like, I did my MPhil in zoology, and I got a job. I became a professor, and after that, I did my PhD in zoology, the PhD in natural radiation and all that. So then, like it is a kind of a transformation of how do you say, a caterpillar into a butterfly. I'll say that it's not just a butterfly, but an iron butterfly. I really wanted to be that. And the rejections, I said, like once I remember somebody telling when I was talking about my aspirations, what I wanted to be, what my dreams are, someone who is so concerned about me advised me, "ஊர் குருவி உயர பறக்க முடியாது. ஊர் குருவி உயர பறக்காது," which means you are a house sparrow. You're just a sparrow, a little sparrow. You cannot fly high. You're not an eagle to fly that high. So this hurt me a lot. So this turned out to be my first fuel, which made me do more. So then, like, I learned to convert my pain into fuel, which would gear me up to go further. Whenever I slow down, I think of these words, and I get all the energy to refute and say, "No, look, I'm not a sparrow. I'm an eagle." And when I say this, I know I'm going in newer dimensions, taking new assignments, trying to fly higher. So I guess this is what makes me learn more. This is what makes me go higher. This is what makes me go after, like my aspirations, my goals, my dreams. Yeah.
Wow. I think listening to you, I'm getting goosebumps already. It's like so empowering, and, to really to say to yourself, no matter what happens outside, the noise that's outside that's saying no to you is the inner determination that has taken you this far. And I mean, like, it's so exciting to hear you share this. So you have traveled outside, from Nagercoil to Spain. You have stayed there. Can you share with us what is your take about on women getting out of their comfort zone, going into international waters? I know a lot of women do that, but you went out and you came back. So, I know it was a research or some kind of a trip, But how was your experience? What did you see different after you go overseas?
Uh, I would say that that was a big challenge for me, not just for me, for any woman. To be in research is not that easy also. Because you have to spend a lot of time on research. You have to put your heart and soul into it if you really want to be a good researcher. So for me, like it was a research fellowship. I went over there. I did some work on gene editing because it was totally a group of people doing it. We had Spanish scientists, we have scientists from Uruguay, Brazil, and everywhere. So we all were a group and we did it. But coming back, it will not be the same. I know it will not be the same because we don't have that kind of facilities back here in India.
That's right.
So this was a kind of how do you say that, opportunity of a lifetime. So I really enjoyed it. But then, like, what I would say is you have to break a lot of glass ceilings if you want to really achieve something. And going after research in a different country is very, very difficult because when I went over there, like before I went, they were all very curious because an Indian is coming to Lugo. Lugo is kind of a place somewhere near Portugal. So they were under the impression like they didn't know anything about India. And like when they heard that a woman from India is coming over here for research, what they thought is she's going to be like a red Indian, right? So that was the kind of impression they had. And when I went over there, they said, "Oh, Jenny, we felt like no, we were under the impression that you were coming in like you would be wearing different kind of clothes, you know." So, and you would look like a red Indian, and we were thinking of all the feathers and all that stuck to your hair. So, like this is how people around the world take us. And after
Your
reaching
name
there,
doesn't look Indian too. Like your name doesn't look like Indian too. It's like very, people will not guess. Very well said. Yeah.
and after reaching there, like it was very difficult at first because, the language, the food, the culture, everything is different. So then, like, but still, like, what I would say is my impression of research, my impression of staying in a different place in a university, because you can go to different places for a vacation. That's different. But being on a fellowship, uh, going there for research, you have to put everything into it. You have to put your heart, your soul, your mind, everything into it, and you'll have to work long hours in the laboratory. So that's not that easy. And breaking the glass ceiling is what I felt is key. Um, if you really want to achieve something, if you want to travel the road of success, you have to transform a lot. So it's very difficult because uh, alone we cannot break a glass ceiling maybe. But what we can do is together we can break, even if we cannot break, you can make 1,000 cracks in the ceiling, right? If all of us join together. So this is what I always feel because a lot of women have been struggling hard because of their ambition to become a researcher. So they'll have to balance between home and work. Like that is very difficult because working in the laboratory, coming back home late night, that's not easy. So for me also, I don't do that much of research after coming back to India. It's teaching and home, a little bit of research. So I'm guiding my students, I'm guiding my PhD scholars, and then like we do, like guide MPhil scholars and then PhD and MSc students, postgraduate and graduate students. So this is all we do. We cannot go into high-end research here. So the same thing goes when I was in Hyderabad, when I was selected for the Indian Academies Research Fellowship. When I was there, it was kind of, you have to have full time, a full concentration on your research. So that's not easy for an Indian woman because we are all brought up in a different way. Like you're so attached to your family, we have priorities, and you have to look into all that before ending up in good research.
Wow, that is so. Do you feel like you have sacrificed something to do what you're doing right now?
Sacrifice in the sense like yes, sacrificing time, so you have to sacrifice a lot of time, energy, and then like you how do you say that, um it's a big challenge anyway. So then like what I guess is like it is the responsibility of a teacher, being a professor. Like I have every year, a lot of girls are being put into my hands. So that's what I think. God gives me a lot of children, right? Every year, like we have 2,500 girls inside the campus. So I have 2,500 children to take care of, to empower them. So empowering in the sense, like I always feel like women have to be empowered mentally, emotionally, and then financially. So this kind of empowerment is very, very essential if you really want to shine in life. So the education gives us mental, emotional, and financial empowerment. But the thing is, like, women are always attached to a few things, like beauty consciousness. And beauty consciousness is kind of, we don't understand that we are being recognized for what we are, for the footprints we leave, but rather we think about our beauty. Like whenever, like as soon as the child is born, like we start, looking at a girl and say, if it is a girl, you just look into the girl's face and say, oh, pilla konja karuppa irukku, right? The color konja kammiya irukku. So then, like, as she grows up, what happens? Like, you're a little dark. That's what they meant. And then, like, as she grows up, what happens is maybe she's a little stout, a little fat, or she's a little tall, or a little short. So all these are kind of tags attached to the girl. So she starts, like, kind of, she moves into a cocoon, right? So we have been made to feel worthless because of our color, our weight, our height, our beauty, and so many other things for which we may not be responsible. So we have our, see, let me ask you, Dr. Azeeza, like, why do we love our mom, our mother?
She's our mom. I mean, she gave birth to us, and it's attachment.
Yes. So for all the sacrifices she's done for us, and not for her beauty, I guess, right? So nobody knew, like, we
Let's
don't even
go beyond the look.
Yes. So we don't care whether our mother is beautiful, she's got a glowing complexion, nothing like that. We just love her because she's our mother. She's been doing a lot of sacrifices. So what is more important is the heart, the courage and the confidence you have. So if you think about Marie Curie, like we think only about the inventions and the innovations she's done and the Nobel prizes she's been awarded. So if you think of Indira Gandhi, right? So we just think about how smart she was. And thinking of Rani of Jhansi, like you just think about Rani of Jhansi sitting on the horse and she has a sword in her hand and the courageous way she was. And we never knew like whether she's tall or short or she had a fair complexion, nothing like that. So children have to be made to understand that beauty is nothing, and then a woman has to be respected for what she is, and she has to take a lot of courage to break the glass ceiling and travel the road to success. So this empowerment is not just for women. Like when a woman gets educated, she is almost empowered. Like the outcome of education is financial empowerment. But before that, what happens is when a woman is empowered, she will be able to raise an empowered man because God gives children to her hands and she can raise a boy in the perfect way. Like, for instance, I'll tell you an incident during the biology class in a school. This happened in a school nearby, a neighboring school. So during biology classes, they were teaching the reproductive system to both boys and girls sitting together. They were teaching. So in this class filled with boys and girls, this teacher, what she did is she just told them about the reproductive system, the ovaries, the uterus, everything. And then like finally what she said, this is the place where you lived for 9 long months. And then she starts telling of the pain of a woman who goes through menstruation. And then she tells the boy, see, this is the duty of a boy. It is the duty of a boy to share the pain of a woman who's going through this difficult time. And then she says, see, your mother goes through this problem, your sister has this, your friend has this, everybody has this. And he has to know that the womb is a divine place and he has to respect. So let me tell you, these boys, like these kind of children who are raised in this way, like when we are actually empowering the boys and we are just telling them to respect women in a different way. So what happens is these kind of boys will never be able to tease a woman or make fun of her or rape her at any cost. So I guess like empowered women can raise up empowered children. And another thing is empowerment in the sense like this kind of education is not just in school. It starts from home itself. Because when at home we don't have stereotypes, boys understand. Because we often tell them boys don't cry. Right? So that means, okay, you're not supposed to cry, but your sister's a girl, she can cry, she's weak. No. So this is the kind of empowerment that can be given to both boys and girls. And when a girl climbs, a tree and you say, "Paiyan mari behave panadu," don't behave like a boy, right? So is there something wrong in being like a boy? So this is empowerment. Like we have to teach them there's nothing wrong in behaving like a girl or a boy. There is no gender bias at home, and the boy learns to respect a woman when he sees his dad doing the cooking. When mom is sick, he brings a cup of tea for mom, he makes it, and there is a lot of love in the cup of tea. So this boy understands that you have to respect women. He's not doing a menial job, but he is being a good friend to the mother. So I guess this is the kind of education that we need to give our children, both boys and girls. So the next, coming to financial empowerment, the outcome of education is a profession or a job. So this gives an identity to the girl. Like what happens is here in Nagercoil, like in my place, what happens is normally girls get married at a very early age, and by the time they are 23, they are kind of a burden for the mom and dad. They just want to chuck them out of the house, like it's not chucking out, like it is the responsibility. They're just doing their duty. So we are not bothered about they are getting into a job. But the thing is, like, we have to understand that educational qualification is not enough for a girl, but she has to stand on her own feet. Whether it's a good job or a small job or whatever the thing is, she doesn't have to beg for money, right? So for little things, you have to ask somebody else. So that is shameful for a girl. Like it can, first time it could be okay, but when it happens many times, she would feel kind of offended. She would feel, how do you say that?
Less.
Something bad inside. Yes. So the ultimate goal of education is financial empowerment for a woman. So only then she'll be respected. Only then she'll be wanted. So she'll be having an identity. So this is what the kind of education we have to give. And only when we do this, only when the outcome of education is satisfied, I guess education really does what it really has to do.
Wow, that is so amazing. When we talk about education, and you're really talking about leveling up the gender, it's not about empowering like who is greater, rather being the cohesive, complementary community that we have to raise, and that lies in the hands of a woman for sure. So thank you for that insight. So today we've kind of spoken about it's going to be 25 minutes, and we have been having such in-depth conversation about getting women educated, and I think this has to go on in probably a series of, and you have so much to share, so much of knowledge, so much of passion, because of, I love it when you say 2,500 children that you have. That is amazing. How long have you been in your college as a Dean of Science?
As the Dean of Science, I just became the Dean of Science in 2020, but I've been working there for the past 11 years.
Very nice. So this is like a new milestone for you to grow your career path as well, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Congratulations on that. So as we round off today's session, what is your message for women as they, create their education life? Because many of them would have already been in business, or they're already out there doing something for themselves, in growth. So what is your message for them?
I would like to say three things. First, accept and love yourself. Like you just go and stand in front of the mirror and then look at yourself, look at your face, your hands, your legs, everything, and say, okay, I love myself, right? If you can say that, you are a success already. And then the next thing is keep all your emotional baggages down. Right? Because I know, like, because I'm dealing with a lot of children, I mean, youngsters, I know that, like, they regret for having been born a woman. Many have gone through sexual harassment. They have been molested as children, drunken beatings, gender inequalities, and all these emotional baggages get stored up in your mind for a long time. So it's time you just leave everything down. Only if you put everything out, like your weight goes out, and then like you can start flying high. So it's easy for you to fly high when you don't have weight attached to your body. So the same thing. The third thing that I would like to say is stand up for other women around you. You know that they are suffering. You know that they're going through tough times. So it is your duty to stand up for them and say, okay, I'm there for you. Okay, I'm there for you to help you out. Maybe I cannot help, but still, I'm a backbone. I'm an emotional support for her. So that's the biggest thing we can do for them. So I think it's time to rebuild ourselves and also the world around us to help everyone around us. So it's time we break all the emotional glass ceilings that are stopping all the men and women around us. So it's time we empower each other and make this world a better place for everyone to live in.
Oh my God, you are so amazing. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Thank you so much for your heart, your spirit, your enthusiasm for the world. Really appreciate your time with us, Dr. Jeni. Wasn't
Thank
that
you.
amazing words of wisdom? I'm like, this is the energy of true walking the journey energy. You know, when I say that, it's like you've been there and done that, and now you're sharing that wisdom with us. So really appreciate it. Friends, if you're watching this live or recorded, remember to share this video with every single woman you know so that they can go to a new level of distinctions for their own strength to take that next step forward in life. So thank you once again, Dr. Jeni, for joining us today.
Thank you, Dr. Azeeza, for having invited me to this program, and I thank the entire team for hosting this program. I really enjoyed being with you all today. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you. And we'll see you next week with another amazing woman. Till then, have a blessed week ahead.